guys, what's up? It's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. So in the video today, I'm going to be discussing a question that is very commonly asked by pre-PA students, so PA students that are wanting to apply to PA school. And I definitely did have this question when I applied to PA school. And the question is, should you retake prerequisites that you didn't do well in? For example, prerequisites that you got a C in or a D in, or you failed. Should you take these prerequisites? So I'll be discussing that question in this video today. So in regards to prerequisites, right, the majority of the prerequisites that the majority of PA schools require are going to be your biology classes, right, your anatomy and physiology classes, microbiology classes, certain even schools chemistry classes, biochemistry classes, and then certain schools will also require classes like virology, etc. Really depends on the school that you're applying to, but by far the majority of the prerequisites are going to be your bio classes, right, microbiology, your anatomy and physiology is one of the very, very common ones, and then your chemistry classes, right, your OChem classes, and then biochemistry also. So should you retake these classes if you do not do well in them? You get C's, you get D's, or you just got a very low grade. Should you retake them? And my answer is, and in my experience is, yes, I think that you should retake the class. The reason is that, for example, specifically if it's a class like anatomy physiology, if you went through that class and you really struggled and you didn't really grasp the information from the class, or you passed the class and you're kind of like, I didn't feel like I learned anything, it's not going to help you in PA school. Anatomy physiology by far is one of those classes that you have to make sure that you have a good foundation on, because it builds on even more in PA school. And another thing I do have to say about this class also is that make sure that you take it, if you can, junior or senior year before you apply to PA school. And the reason why I say this is that I took anatomy physiology my freshman year of my undergraduate school. So that was my freshman year. That was in like 2011, 2010. And I didn't get accepted in PA school and didn't start PA school until 2018. So it had been about 7 years, almost 8 years since I had gone over anything about anatomy and physiology. I mean, it was there, but it was back there like dusty cobwebs. So what happened is that when I took my anatomy and physiology that first semester, I struggled so much because I was learning everything for new. I was having to relearn everything. And some of my classmates that had just taken anatomy and physiology like the previous semester before going into BA school, they were like, oh yeah, I know this, I remember this. They were like on top of it because they knew it so well. They had done so well in the classes and they had just taken that class. It wasn't that prior semester, it was that previous year. So that's why, if you can, I really recommend that you take like anatomy physiology, your prerequisite junior year, senior year, before you start PA school. That way it is fresher in your mind. So going back to the grades and prerequisites. So say you take your anatomy physiology and you get a C or a D. Should you retake it? I really think you should, because you're gonna retake it, you're gonna learn the information again, and make sure that you do well in the class. Make sure that you know the information, because it's gonna be really important for PA school. Anatomy physiology is really important for PA school. I can't say that's super important. And just for, in general, for every practitioner, anatomy physiology is important. So in PA school, you're going to be building up on whatever you learned, and it's going to be hardcore. It's going to be more in detail than your anatomy physiology class as an undergraduate. And guess what? It's going to come back again. During your surgery rotation in clinical year, I got asked questions left and right by my doctors in regards to certain organs, certain nerves, certain arteries, bones, etc. So expect to be asked on it during your clinical rotations. So that's why it's really important that, once again, you know your anatomy well. So know your anatomy well, doing well in your anatomy classes as a prerequisite is not only going to look good on your application, and it's going to give you a higher chance of getting yourself into PA school, but it's going to help you in PA school. It's going to help you during your clinical rotations. So yes, I think you should be retaking prerequisites that you didn't do well in, like anatomy physiology. Another one, microbiology, right? So microbiology is very important. Once again, I took microbiology in 2012, and I was asked questions about microbiology during my emergency medicine rotation. I was asked questions in regards to gram-negatives and gram-positive organisms. And in PA school, you really don't have a microbiology class. You do go over certain infections and bacteria, but you don't go in as detail as, for example, your microbiology class. So that's why it's really important that if, once again, you didn't do well in this class, you retake it. Not only for it looking good on your application and making you more competitive, but also just for yourself as a future PA. If you knew your information well, then once you're in a situation like I was during my ER rotation, where I was asked gram-negative to gram-positive, what's going on with the bacteria, thin cell, thick cell, what is the color stain, etc. You're not like in shock, like a deer in headlights like myself, because I couldn't remember that. So once again, make sure that if you can, really retake those classes that you didn't do well. And biochemistry is another one. You think that maybe, oh, biochemistry, I'm never gonna see it in PA school. You will. I got asked by one of my doctors the lactic acid pathway, and it had been a while since I took biochemistry class, and I had no idea about the lactic acid pathway. I had to go home and relearn the entire thing. So biochemistry classes is also one of those really important classes that you have to know, not only for yourself, but once again, it's going to look really good for your application, and you'll be able to understand why you're ordering a lactate level on a patient that's coming in for a heart attack, right? Myocardial infarction. So why are you ordering a lactate level? What's the pathophysiology? What's the biochemistry? What's going on with the cells in the heart, etc. So biochemistry, if you're not doing well, you did not do well, I really recommend you to retake it. So just in general, if you have not done well in a class, prerequisite, please retake it.
Do it! Just do it!
If you can afford it, retake it. It's not only going to look good on your application, it's going to make you a stronger candidate for PA school and more competitive candidate for PA school, but it's also going to help you in the future as a future physician assistant. You're going to think about me during your didactic year, during your clinical rotations, when they're asking you, the doctors are asking you these questions and you don't know the answer. So that is just my 2 cents. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. So yes, retake those prerequisite classes that you didn't do well in. It's really important because it's going to make you a better candidate for PA school, and it's going to help you in your future career as a PA. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feedback, or anything like that, or topics you would like me to discuss in future videos, comment below, and I'll talk to you guys later.